Good evening, everybody. So it has been a chaotic day. So this is Coffee Time Wednesday, only we're not doing coffee time today, y'all. I'm so sorry. I have been on the go since getting up this morning, and it has been nonstop. Right now we're going into dinner, and lemons are going to be our feature. I've had somebody ask if I would do a video on how to do the pasta alla limone, which is lemon pasta with goat cheese. Now, this is the most amazing, beautiful spring summer pasta I have ever tasted before, and I am honored to share this. I will say the inspiration and the recipe comes from Pasta Grammar. It is not my recipe. So I will link that recipe to you all because, again, it's not mine, but it is worth sharing. And I'm going to show you how this is made. I went a step further and I add just a few more ingredients to mine. And you can substitute. I'm going to use labneh, but you can substitute cream cheese if you want to. I had made, y'all, so I have some garlic butter that I made homemade. I have a butter mold, and I took a pound of butter, made 4 sticks, remade those 4 sticks to make my own garlic butter, and then I froze these sticks. So I have garlic butter to wrap or to brush on the top of homemade naan bread like this, that we are going to use with olive oil with our pasta and a side salad. And I'm going to show you all what our Italian supper is going to look like tonight. So we're going to get started. Now, let me go ahead and start with our pasta, and we will move from there. Okay, y'all, we want to start with we do not want to use angel hair pasta for this. So I want to be able to let you know, use regular pasta. The kind that she used, we don't really have, so it was a nice squared one. But this one here is just your regular thick, let's see if you can see that, regular thick based pasta basically. So and as you noted, well, I don't know if you can see that, but mine does not have that coating either, y'all. So it's cut dyed and it's rough textured. This doesn't even have a coating. This is a pasta from Italy. We're going to weigh our pasta out. So for a dinner, they say most generally they use 100 grams of pasta per person. 80 grams is used basically for like lunch or something like that. So, but even at 80 grams, y'all, I'm going to tell you, that's a lot of pasta. So I am going to probably do 200 grams. However, we're not going to be eating all that because some of this is going for hubby's dinner tomorrow or lunch tomorrow. And then probably for me as well. So we'll be dividing this. So I'm going to get my scale, and we're going to show you how I actually weigh this out to make it easier for you. So let me fix you up here. Okay, y'all. So the easiest way to do this, honestly, is take your pasta out of your container, and I kind of straighten mine, and I just lay this on top of my what do you call it? My scale. Now that's 75. I'm going to go ahead and show you what 80 grams looks like. Okay, so this, y'all, this round right here is 80 grams of pasta. Now that's a good amount of pasta. Now I'm going to show you what 100 grams is. And this is what they used in Italy for supper. Or their dinner. Woo! Runaway pasta. Okay. So here is 100 grams. Yikes. This, y'all, that is 100 grams of pasta. That's quite a bit of pasta. Now, if you're used to our American style, that would look like, are you kidding, Miss Carrie? But trust me, when you get adjusted to Italy's grams, you will absolutely see that this is a lot of pasta. So here's our first 100. Now I'm going to do the second for my husband and I both, and I will be cooking all 200 grams. I want to get something to put this in. I'm going to put this in right here, and then we'll go ahead with our second gram of 100. I am finding that doing it this way, my pasta lasts longer. You could use panini for this if you wanted to, but this is usually used in this dish quite often, and that's just regular spaghetti pasta. Okay, this is a little too much. It's like almost each piece is a gram in itself. All right, there is 200 grams of pasta. Now I'll show you what a serving of 2 looks like, y'all. Just like that. Now, basically, just a little bit less than this is what the American standard is, and that's crazy. I did not realize this until I started changing the way we eat, and it made it easy to learn the Italian way and how they do it in the Mediterranean. It's just helped immensely in portion control. So now we're going to get started. Wait till our water comes to a boil. We're going to add salt to this, and then we're going to cook this pasta. All right, y'all. So with my oven sitting at 200 degrees, I am taking this melted homemade roasted garlic butter that I have, and I'm brushing each piece with this. And then I'm going to set this in the oven to heat while it cooks all this butter in it at the same time. And we're going to just let this stay warm at about 200, 250. I don't want it to get crispy. I just want it to stay nice and soft and warm. And this was made out of fresh milled using hard white wheat and kamut, or otherwise known as Corazon wheat berries. For those who don't know, if you cannot find who are milling, if you can't find kamut, look under Corazon. It's the same thing. It's an AKA Corazon. Excuse me, y'all. I haven't even had time to get me something to drink, so I'm pretty parched at the moment. Now I'm fixing to get me something here in just a second. Alright, y'all. So now these are brushed. Oh man, they smell so good. These are brushed with garlic butter, and now I'm going to pop these in the oven and let these stay warm while we're fixing up our pasta. And on to the next. Okay, Miss Patricia, this is for you, hon. So this has been seasoned. I used, if anybody, in case you're unaware of what this is a mortar and pestle. This is an unfinished mortar and pestle. I had one like this. This nice shiny marble. Y'all, I'm going to tell you, this nice shiny marble drove me out of my mind. I couldn't crush nothing. I couldn't grind anything. It just kept sliding around in this. So this is more or less a knick-knack for me. This one, though, this is stone. This is really heavy. And this one here has a grind to it, just like I'm grinding into stone. But it had to be cured. How you do that, do not use soap and water. You just want to use water on this. And I first started out using water. I let it air dry for an hour. Then I came back and grind rice in it. And I will tell you, Miss Patricia, that is a tedious job. I would suggest you bash and then do the rolling in here with your rice to turn it into flour. It took me 3 times to get it white because it started out gray. And I made sure that I held it sideways, y'all. And then I mashed it against the sides here all the way around to coat the whole thing. So, yeah, I had to do that with the rice. Then after that, I wiped it out and I took 3 cloves of garlic and some kosher salt. And the reason I found out what the garlic was for, Miss Patricia, is it's an antiseptic, which means it is now going to take and basically clean this with an antiseptic purpose to it. So sterilizes our stone. And then just wipe it out after an hour. You leave it in here, mashed paste, wipe it out, run it under warm water, and I'm finished. I am ready to use this thing for whatever it needs to do. Does it have a slight smell of garlic? Yes, but I can deal with that. So it will not leach on anything else. But yep, it's turned out beautiful. So, and it definitely isn't that light gray that what I first started with. It got quite dark. So yep, that's my new baby, y'all. So you may see me do this when I make harissa. But I wanted to bring this to attention to Miss Patricia because she's got one like me, and we were both trying to figure out how do you do this and what is it for. So that I figured I'd go ahead and include this in there. Alright, y'all. So my pasta water is now rolling boil, and I will tell you, I wait at this point to add my salt to my pasta water, and I use quite a bit of it. I'm using kosher salt. And I'm going to tell you why I wait till it's boiling, because at this point it will keep my pots from getting creviced, if that makes any sense. You'll find that some of your non-stick pans or whatever, like these, it doesn't have a coating, but the salt can tend to pit your pots. But if it's a rolling boil, they do not, I don't know what makes them do that, but it does not create pitting at that point. Now, many of you may break your pasta. We do not. So I just set my pasta in here. I wait till it cooks down and I push it down into the water, y'all. And I'll show you how I do this. It doesn't take long to be able to do that. I just work with it till I can get it in the pot. I will not break my pasta anymore. And actually in Italy, they don't break their pasta, just so you know. So see, it does not take long at all to just put this in here like this. And that's it. All right, y'all. So we're going to come back after this is al dente, and we will tell you how to do the sauce. Okay, y'all. So we're going to start with 4 ounces of goat cheese. Now this one is garlic and herb. You can use any plain type of goat cheese if you wanted to. But again, I'm using garlic and herb flavoring. This is a very simple sauce. So we got 4 ounces of that. We're going to take just a little bit of our pasta water because we're just going to blend this together a little bit just to soften up the cheese. Like so. And we're going to make a cream sauce out of this. Not too thick and not too thin. We're just going to work this into our pasta water. Now, if you do not want to use goat cheese, you can use cream cheese. But I will tell you, the goat cheese gives this an amazing flavor too. Let me go ahead and get a whisk for this. All right, y'all. That's better. Now I'm just going to whisk this up really good and make this, and we're going to add just a little, we can just do this just a little bit more. Okay, y'all, so what I'm going to do is take just a tad bit. You do want to do just a little at a time. Do not add a whole lot at once, because you don't want to make this too much or too thin. So I have a nice creamy base. Now at this point, I'm going to be adding my Parmesan cheese. And I mean, you can't go wrong with Parmesan, okay, y'all? So now this is a little thick at the moment. So what we're going to do is we're going to take and I have a cleaned lemon. So I'm going to zest it first, where I can have my lemon zest into my sauce. You do not want the white pith, so avoid that. You just want that nice yellow rind. I'm using a microplane. Okay, that's just about done. I'm using a small, you can use small to medium lemon for this. And now we're going to take it and we're going to squeeze the juice out of this lemon. Go ahead and get a squeezer. Cut this in half. Add it to my juicer. And squeeze it out. We're going to use the juice of this entire thing. Double check that. Yep. Juice of 1 whole lemon. This is the reason why you do not want to add too much pasta water. And now we're going to whisk this all together. Make that beautiful creamy sauce. And you're doing this while your pasta's cooking, because your pasta is going to go inside of this sauce, or you're going to add it to it when you're done. Now that's a beautiful cream base. So I'm going to add just a little bit of salt to this. And go ahead and give this a try. Oh my goodness, y'all. Yes, this is going to be beautiful. Now at this point, I'm going to go ahead and add just a little bit more cheese. And then we'll be sprinkling some on the top afterwards. Now we're going to set this aside, wait for our pasta to get al dente, and then we're going to put it together. Alright, y'all, so the pasta is now al dente. I strained it. Now I'm just going to add my sauce into this mix. And then after this, we're going to prepare our dish. So I'm just going to mix this all together. This is very, honestly, this is very simple. I'm just going to mix this all up in here. And that's it. This is now finished. Now we're going to go ahead and plate. And I'll show you what our supper is going to look like this evening. Okay, y'all, so we have our spring side salad. We have our Mediterranean bread dipping mix on the side here. Now I'm going to add our pasta to this plate. Using tongs, just going to roll it on this there. Yeah. And then we just lay it right there. Sprinkle this with some parsley, some Parmesan cheese, piece of naan bread, broken in half. And that is our supper for tonight, y'all. Give you a close-up of all of this in just a second. And that's our supper right there, y'all. This is a style that I actually prefer to eat. And there's our dipping sauce over here, our side salad, our homemade fresh milled naan bread or flatbread with homemade garlic, roasted garlic, and butter, and then our lemon, our pasta alla limone, or otherwise known as lemon pasta with goat cheese. And that'll be it, y'all. Alright, y'all, so we are ready to eat. I will have the recipe linked in the description box below for you, because again, this came from Pastagramma. They are my inspiration because they are authentic from Italy. And so I love their flavors. Y'all, I did not know that pasta could taste good with lemon, honestly. And if you want a nice, bright, it's almost as if you can taste spring and summer on your plate. So this is an amazing meal. Give it a try just once. Until next time, much love from Parton's Mediterranean Homestead.